He
Oh
also
no!
has a triage center, and I think Ryan was saying, "Oh no," there because the stormtrooper squad went down. Is that correct, Ryan?
That's correct. That was a double Shrek stormtrooper squad that dropped a Shrek and died
Oh
in the
no!
process.
Another MG42 going down. Huge losses for CrazyTiger right now. This is looking very bad for him. Ryan, do you want to elaborate? I mean, he looks like he just sacrificed the Pioneer squad to grab that MG, and he just lost that MG as well.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a move of desperation. Crazy's trying to hold on to this territory, over here in the west side, and trying to make sure. Of course, he snipes the retreating MG, and thus loses the gun as a result because they don't drop when they're on the retreat. And so I think he's just really trying to hold this territory over here because he lost over in the east side. He had a Volk squad versus 2 engineers, one of which was a flamer, and he was over decapping a lot of these points, and his Volk squad just couldn't hold up to that.
Mm. So if say the game was to end right now, like just say prematurely, and we were talking about the pros and cons of the players right now, I would definitely say that if CrazyTiger lost, it would probably be due to his loss of units. So he lost quite a few pioneers in the process. He lost a stormtrooper. He lost MG sniper. This is all going to add up. I mean, if he had all these units still alive and on the field, then he would obviously have a much bigger fighting force to be able to push forward. But he does not have that right now. It looks like he only has 3 Volksgrenadiers. Whether he has anything else, I'm unsure of. I don't believe so. So he's really on.
He has a sniper right behind the Volks.
And so he does. So, but overall, he is really, really in a desperate situation. He's losing a lot of guys. Audemed is definitely pushing forward with his bars, his sniper, his mortar, and this seems like quite a bad position for him right now.
Yeah, but he was floating manpower. Part of the reason that he didn't have a ton on the field is because he was saving up for the stew that just came out.
Now, Ryan, I've actually got to answer a call from my flatmate. Now, hopefully this won't take too long. I don't believe it will. I'm just gonna change the view over to something a bit more scenic, and Ryan will keep on speaking just for the next few seconds.
This is what happens when you guys live in the UK and you live in collective situations. I'm telling you, you get all kinds of messy things. We see the Stew taking out 5 infantry in the first infantry battle here, but here these riflemen are, oh god, the riflemen were planting a mine right there, and the Stew pulled up and took a single shot, taking out an entire squad. Definitely having an impact already. You figure 12 kills for a Stew. They're roughly just about half pays off that Stew. We've got the Volksgrenadiers picking up the Bard rifles. We have the sniper capping over here in the east. And Krebs is back.
I'm back, guys. So I was just answering a little phone call from the flatmate there. So back onto this first place replay. I'm very excited to be bringing this to you, all you guys. But yeah, that sounds like an introduction.
Watch the sniper.
The sniper.
Watch the American sniper.
So we have the Stew coming in along to where the sniper is, obviously realizing that the sniper is camouflaged. I'm not sure if he's trying to find it or if he's just trying to go along the side of the base to try and do something, but we'll see what is going to happen. But just in the meantime, going to quickly just go on to the right hand side. We've got Volksgrenadiers just capping away at the right hand side, trying to cut off Audemed. Back to the Stew. So the Stew is just patrolling the left hand side, just trying to do, I don't really know what right now, just patrolling really. And just backing off at the moment.
Well, he saw these rangers over the building there, and so, he's kind of backing up to put himself with his frontal armor facing them. Definitely a good idea. They're still going to do a decent job, but the Stew is also going to do, work over those rangers to a certain extent as well. Here we got the sniper shot going off on the Volks, and another Stew shot sending rangers flying.
That's right. So the Stew down to half health right now, but no problem as long as there's Pioneers on the field. And funnily enough, it looks like there are no Pioneers on the field. So, Pioneers, we need you right now.
And the Stew
runs
over the sniper.
The Stew just taking out the sniper there. How lucky is that? If you've ever seen a Stew counter I don't even know, not even counter snipe, counter roll, steam roll a sniper, then there you go, guys. That is probably the first time you've ever seen that happen. Lucky Stu being better than a motorbike.
Yeah, the Wehrmacht sniper's been it actually capped a munitions point out on the east and is moving around. He rebuilt that sniper. It's got 4 kills currently. The Stu's up to 15 kills, 2 buildings.
Oh, the Wehrmacht sniper was just taken out there. It was actually retreating and it was killed in pretty much less than a second. I mean, it had a full health, but on retreat, just absolutely mauled.
Yeah, and we have stickies out from the American player. Obviously, that's going to have a pretty decent impact on this Stu. But you know, it's still you're almost up to 20 kills with it, and he does have Vet 1 on his tanks, not Vet 2 on his infantry. The Stu firing again, getting 20 kills.
So Stu has a lot of kills. Pretty good when you're facing the infantry doctrine right now, because we haven't seen any sort of tanks or vehicles from Mr. Audemed on the north side. But funnily enough, I spoke too soon, he is building an M10. So we are going to be seeing our first vehicles out from Mr. Audemed. And he will be obviously trying to use that to counter the Stu. When it comes to anti-tank that CrazyTiger has, he really does not have much at the moment. I mean, he lost that Stormtrooper squad, he lost that Panzerschreck. Does he have another Stormtrooper squad, Ryan?
No, he does not. Not right now. And, you know, one of the things that you have to consider is that while he had those early, you know, a couple of the squad losses and the pile loss here and there, he noticed that Audemed kind of had a very infantry-heavy game at that point. Bringing out the Stu to help counter that has really, in many ways, saved this game for him.
It definitely has. The Stu has done a very decent job, especially when we're talking about how many kills it has right now. We have this little howitzer shoot, and I'm going to pick on this name again. The howitzer shoot, apparently somebody told me that it sounds better than howitzer shot, which might mean something singular. Apparently shoot makes it sound plural. I personally think it should be called howitzer barrage. Maybe, you know, that sounds a bit better, but fair enough. We have the Stu just taking a few shots at the M10, and funnily enough doing a lot of damage. So well done, Mr. Stu. You are doing an alright job at being an anti-tank.
Yeah, we see this shot going off at what I presume was the mortar team over here and just swing them way wide and hitting the building. And on the howitzer shot, howitzer shoot discussion, I don't really care what they name it, just so long as it doesn't sound stupid. We have Panzer going out on the M10. Yes. I mean, shoot sounds stupid. Howitzer shot is a little silly, but yeah.
So howitzer barrage. It's an idea.
Yes, Relic, get on that. Change that. The M10 being backed off through the Panzerfaust. Of course, you get the Shrek rifle squad kind of pulling up here, trying to finish off this Stu, but it is trying to escape in between the two buildings here. The sniper realizing it's kind of in the way.
The Stu is just caught in the center, or the corner of that building. Just managed to get away. Damaged engine. One more shot could take it out. But Mr. Bazooka, man, he is not close enough. He is not close enough. Come on, Mr. Bazooka, get up there. Can he do it? No, it doesn't look like it. I think if I was in their position, I would, oh no, those are riflemen, never mind. If those were rangers, that would have been another story.
Yeah, and we have another arty barrage coming down on the northward
you mean
bunker
a howitzer shoot?
Wehrmacht base. It's artillery, and I will call it what I want.
Okay.
And it takes out a few Volks Grenadiers, and you know, at this point he obviously needs some piles, which just come out of his base. He's got some over on the east side doing some capping, but he needs something to repair this Stu.
So, in terms of capping power right now, Audemed definitely has an advantage. I mean, these riflemen doing a very good job at capping away. He's got his engineers constantly doing something. He's got the M10 fully repaired. He's got a few rifleman squads and rangers kept in his base right now. Should probably be moving those to the field, the front of the field. And he has an M10. So in terms of numbers right now, Mr. Audemed, Mr. 500 pounds, definitely has an advantage. So
Yeah, we're starting to see some infantry battles here in the center. We've got another M10 out from Audemed. Some repairing going on this stew. Rack 'em up. That's 21 kills for the stew so far. Definitely doing a good job. We got Volks Grenadiers with a bar coming over to confront this rifle squad that's trying to decap the ammo.
So Ryan, I mean, this is quite a formidable force. If you were in CrazyTiger's position, what do you think you would need right now?
Well, you know, at this point, he's really depending a lot. What it appears like is he's depending a lot on doctrinal units to kind of counter the infantry play that's out here at hand. So, you know, here he brings out a set of stormtroopers, immediately goes up to 2 Shreks with them. He's looking to use Shreks to take down those M10s. He appears to be saving CP up, so based on the fact that he went down the urban assault side, you can expect to see a Tiger out on the field.
So that could be very helpful at the moment. A Tiger. Obviously, M10s would not have much of a chance against the Tiger. And so that's what could really help right now. But funny enough, this Stu is taking a lot of damage from this one single M10. But his buddy, M10 number 2, is coming in to try and finish it off. I think he might be able to manage to do that. Unfortunately, this M10 is taken out. He maybe could have moved it back. I'm not sure if the engine was damaged on that. But now this M10 is just backing off slightly because he knows he's a bit in a bad position. And that's what he should be doing because the Stu is being repaired. There are a few Panzer Shreks from the Stormtroopers, and M10 is just needing to back off.
Yeah, and did you notice what he did there with the Pioneers repairing the Stu? They're actually behind that small bit of hedge there, which means they can't be attacked. And so that was actually a very smart move on his behalf.
Definitely something to consider. In that little engagement, 2 M10's gone, so you know they're alright anti-tank. Unfortunately, they didn't do as much damage as hoped against the Stu, but that, you know, that's quite a bit of losses. 2 M10's. And these riflemen are just trying to put down a little mine there. But one little, I don't know what you call it, artillery shell from the Stu came out and blew up 4 of those guys. So quite heavy losses for Audemed right now. Seems like the playing fields are being a bit evened out at the moment.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And you know, the M10's classic, you know, thought would be, okay, 2 M10s and a Ranger squad, I should be able to take out a Stu, right? But it really didn't work out that way. And while we got another artillery shot coming down here, it looks like the Volks and the, well, he's gonna retreat him. Kind of an odd choice there. I think I would have kept moving, but a safe choice regardless. But the Stu's frontal armor really held off the M10s for long enough to allow his Volks and his Storm Squad to really kind of do the damage up there, and that's definitely important.
And that's definitely definitely what I was thinking as well. When you come to M10s, especially when you have 2 of them, you would think they would be able to take on Stu, but just that front armor is just too much to pierce through. We did see a few piercing shots, but then again, there's a much less of a chance to pierce through that frontal armor. So if you're ever going to try and engage that Stu, you should really try and take advantage of the fact that it doesn't have a rotatable turret. It has to rotate its full body, and try and circle that Stu and, you know, try and take it out that way. But moving on from the Stu, we will talk about the infantry, and here is quite an engagement right now, just head-on-head action between the riflemen, the Rangers, just fighting away at these Vet 1 men on the field right now. I would like to see a bit more veterancy on them,
Yeah,
but fair enough.
Well, you have to remember with a Volks heavy squad, the Vet 2 does not do you as much good as it does with, say, Grenadiers. And he's focusing a lot of his Vet on his tanks, which again makes sense because he's Blitzkrieg, he's looking to go Tigers, and you know that. The other thing that happened over here on the east side while you were talking was there was a sniper that was out of cloak, following a set of flame engineers trying to get a couple of shots off to save these Pioneers over on the east side, and they did eventually do that, and now the Pioneers are free to cap over here on the high fuel and the munition point that's over there.
But the sniper's dead. So it seems like
Yes.
in earlier engagement.